Travis Etienne to the Saints, Mike Evans to the 49ers. We've got a lot more to discuss. We go live when news breaks. This is the only show you need. We break down everything individually. We ended the other live stream to go live in a compartmentalized fashion on Etienne. And as we did that, Mike Evans news broke. So we're breaking down both of these situations, what it means for the teams, what's it mean for fantasy football. The Fantasy Football Show Breaking News edition begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Mike Evans is now a 49er. Let's first start off with that. But Etienne, a Saint, we went over that a little bit at the end of the last show, but we'll go over that too. Let's talk about the Mike Evans situation, which just broke as we are speaking right now. This just came through. Mike Evans joins the 49ers. Interesting situation to say the least. The Niners are very injury plagued. And they bring in a guy that's older that we like a lot. I think Mike Evans is going to be pretty damn good for one more season. However, he joins one of the most injury-prone organizations that he could possibly join. And then you just wonder how it's all going to shake out. But it's just a big signing, big-bodied player that could go in and make Brock Purdy have a much better year than we expected. At the same time, if he gets injured, then they're cooked. And they're going to have a lot invested in this one position and trying to carry this offense. Christian McCaffrey overworked last year. Will he stay healthy? Mike Evans, older. Will he stay healthy? Could this be one of those years where we just throw our hands up and say the Niners just can't stay healthy? It's the most injury-prone organization known to man. Hard to say how this is really going to go. Are you investing in Mike Evans? It's intriguing. But I won't say that I'm racing to go grab him in this landing spot, although it could be intriguing. It could be pretty fruitful at the end of the day. I don't think one can come in here and say this isn't a potentially good place for him to land. But it's very easy to say I'm staying clear of this. I see a bunch of them. I'm not drafting them. I'm not touching them. I'm staying clear. This is huge news for Emeka Egbuka, who was kind of looking at potentially a return of Mike Evans in Tampa Bay. And now Emeka Egbuka has a clear path to the number one wide receiver spot. So this news, Etienne, is huge for Etienne. Is huge for Etienne owners. This news is huge for Purdy fans, Niner fans, Mike Evans owners. But this live stream might be more important and impactful and celebratory in the direction of Emeka Egbuka, quietly understated as maybe the winner of this live stream. I mean, it truly could be the winner of this live stream.
I smell meatloaf.
Very, very, very understated winner of this live stream today. This news that's breaking today. Emeka Egbuka is going to the mother-freaking moon. His stock is on the rise. Not going to the moon. He's going to at least Saturn. And all the haters and doubters can continue to doubt and hate all they want. We don't care. We hope you continue. In fact, tell a friend. Do more of it. Would love for everybody to continue to doubt this kid over and over and over because he's going to be an absolute steal. But not to steal the show here. Mike Evans, I'll be very intrigued by what you guys think on the phone line when we open up the phone lines in a minute. We're not going to go over too much of the news because it's pretty self-explanatory, but we're here to react to it. I'll take your phone calls in a second. But Mike Evans, what do you think about it? In the chat, drop whether you're drafting him or not. Drop what kind of numbers you think he could produce. Is he done producing 1,000-yard seasons? Is he capable of doing kind of a watered-down version of what Davante Adams did last year in LAR, where he pulls in 700 and something yards like Davante Adams did? Davante Adams had 789 yards. That is putrid. But he had 14 touchdowns and led the NFL in touchdowns and became a top 10 fantasy football wide receiver. So you never know. But Mike Evans, is he grabbing 10 plus scores from Brock Purdy? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're looking at maybe an 807, 809, 808, 806, 906, 905. I don't think we're looking at 1,008 plus. I think it's going to be, if we get 8 touchdowns somehow, some way, it's a lower yardage number. if we get high yardage, we're probably getting lower touchdowns. You never know. Is he a value? Yeah, maybe. Could I come back? I'm digesting this live like I do. Could I come back and maybe, say I actually do like this entry point? Yeah, maybe. It depends where his ADP is. Everything's about cost of entry. Everything's about ADP. So if Mike Evans ends up being a wide receiver 3 in fantasy football draft still, then I'm probably all in on that. But if he climbs into the high 2 territory, if you have to take him and BTJ, him and a player like McLaurin or Lab McConkey or JMO or Higgins or Ted McMillan or Burden, if you have to take Evans near those guys, even at the tail end of like the Burden territory, probably too tall of an order, I think, for him at his age. I think he's a great player and asset to bring in. Like, I would have loved to seen him land in New England, but I don't know that you would have got like a 1,100-yard, 10-touchdown guy out of him, but he would certainly help Drake May and been such a good asset for those big catches. But, I mean, the thing that we got to remember, the last time we saw Mike Evans running down a field, we saw Mike Evans get injured. And then he comes back and gets injured on another injury, and then he goes out for this is a guy that can't stay healthy right now at his old ripe age with the mileage he's endured. So maybe he's able to one more time. We'll see. I definitely still love Mike Evans. We're big fans of Mike Evans, but you have to question this a little bit and say, is he going to do it again? Have 1,000-yard season? Hard to say. I mean, he had that game that took him out for multiple games. He get 2 injuries in the same game. I just don't know. As far as Travis Etienne, very excited about Etienne. Very, very excited about Travis Etienne. What a monster this guy could be in New Orleans. And I'm pretty intrigued by both the Kenneth Walker and Etienne landing spots, although we predicted those to be the most likely landing spots. Last night we said, yeah. KC, close your eyes, picture a running back there. It's Etienne or Walker. And we were right about that. In New Orleans, it was either Jeremiah Love, Kenneth Walker, or Travis Etienne. So we've been pretty much on point the whole way. I do believe that with Evans signing, I do believe with Alec Pierce staying, Alec Pierce specifically tied to New England and Vrabel, and having that piece, that chess piece taken off the board for Vrabel, I do believe A.J. Brown to New England does feel like something that's inevitable. If, in fact, the Eagles lower the price tag a little bit and the New England Patriots decide to meet them in the middle instead of trying to lowball them. I can't control if New England wants to lowball. I can't control if Philly doesn't want to accept anything but a first-rounder or a first and a third or whatever the hell they're looking for. I can't control what these teams do and whether they press the button. Just like I tell people, Breece Hall for a third-round pick at the end of the trade deadline territory last year was a home run. Breece Hall for a third rounder, that was the offer. The Jets said, hey, Chiefs, take Breece Hall. All we want is a third rounder. And the Chiefs said no. And then the trade deadline passed. That was the easiest trade to make, I think, in the last handful of years. That was probably the best value. The Chiefs screwed it up. They crapped the bed on that. And I couldn't control that. But me saying, yeah, Breece Hall getting traded, if I came out and said it's happening today and it didn't, are you really going to blame someone when they can't press the button? Like, that's just the nature of it. Travis, I assume you're calling in something breaking?
Did you see the contract for Evans?
No, not yet. What is it?
3 years, $60 million. So $20 million a year.
Woo! That's pretty big. That's a pretty big deal.
Well, there was reports that he was going over $27 million, but I'm thinking maybe that was before 49ers came with a 3-year offer. So
yeah, okay. So I have the contract details right here. I'll put them on screen. But Mike Evans grabbing that whopping, massive. Obviously, he wants to play longer. $60 million. Will earn up to $60 million with the 49ers per source. Earn up to $60 million. Yeah, that's crazy money. That's crazy money. I will say that even though I love Mike Evans, and Mike Evans would have signed with New England today, I probably would have been talking about pretty good. Now, I would have been pretty honest in saying that there could be a world where he doesn't have 1,000 yards because he gets injured. There could be a world where he has 6-7 touchdowns and 900 yards. But I'd be pretty intrigued and excited about the volume, the offense, the fit would be pretty good. I'm not saying that because he's a Niner, and I'm not a Niner hater whatsoever. We've loved Niner players in this channel. We love Deebo Samuel. We've loved Mason and Garendo and all. Like, we're not Niner haters by any means. I hate when people say that I'm a Niner hater. I'm a Shanahan doubter in some of the ways Shanahan runs his organization. And runs things from his perspective, his contracts, the offseason, Shanahan crapping the bed with draft picks and then getting all these all this high praise during the season when he does well, and then he craps the bed in the playoffs. It's a song and dance every year. And the Niner fans are 50% wanting to get rid of Shanahan before last year. Now he's coach of the year. Everybody loves him again. But this situation, it just is not a good. This is like watching a Scream movie and then them not locking the door, or watching a Scream movie and they don't have like security gates on the front door, or they answer the phone. Like Mike Evans going to the Niners, the most injury prone team, signing a $60 million or a deal that could be upwards of $60 million. It just sounds like a recipe for disaster. It sounds like a Scream movie part 8, where it's just inevitable now because they gave him the money, and because he's very injury prone, and because the Niners are super injury prone, and because the Niners keep messing up on these big things like, hey, let's give up 3 first-rounders for Trey Lance, and then let's ruin Trey Lance. Let's give all this money here. Let's give Ayuk $30+ million, and he never earns a single dime of it. Now let's send $60 million over to Mike Evans, and let's put him right next to the power plant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody has injuries and now you're setting them next to the power plant, that worries me. I'm not going to lie. I feel like Mike Evans is more likely to get hurt in San Francisco than he is over in New England, let's say. And you could say that's stupid thinking, but you could also say, have you looked into the power plant fully yet? Because I do feel like this is probably not the best place for him to go. Until we get more evidence that the power plant ain't screwing things up, I truly believe we have an argument here that Mike Evans and power plant Mike Evans should probably never meet. So a little bit of concern there. Hold on, Travis. Let me just get through this, and then I'll go straight to Travis and the board. Travis, what was the Etienne contract again? The details on that?
4 for 52, I think. It was 13 a year.
Okay, so Etienne's 4 for 52.
Yeah.
4 years, $52 million. I love it. I love Etienne. I liked Jeremiah Love better. Jeremiah Love now off the board for the Saints. Jeremiah Love now off the board for the Chiefs. And that's the weirdest thing, because the Cardinals, who brought in Algier today and also retained Connor and have Benson, are now off the board for Love. And these were the bookends of the range that Love was expected to go. Jeremiah Love was fully expected to go between 3 and number 9. And now you take the Cardinals, the top end of that, off the board. The KC Chiefs and the Saints, which were the bottom part of the bookend. And now you're leaving yourself Washington. If you keep hearing the Giants, which will be a disaster, and Tennessee. And then what? You have potentially a Vikings team that might want to swing in. Seattle down at 32. Who knows what? They got so much ability to try and navigate, I think, this situation if they wanted to get up and try and make this happen. But this is very, very intriguing here. And I don't know what it means for Love. Love certainly has a little bit more risk of going to a bad spot, or maybe not bad spot, I should say, but a not most desired landing spot because of the things that have unfolded today. The fact that we got, and yesterday, the fact that we got Arizona, New Orleans, and KC, 3 of the very best landing spots for Love to land, taken off the board. and we're only left with the Washington Commanders and Tennessee Titans that are good spots in this top 10. And then the
what's
Giants.
Scary?
It's just, I don't know.
Is the Jets at 16, and they made a bunch of defensive signings today. That would be bad if they traded up.
Imagine Breece Hall and Love on the. I hope we don't see Love land in a cloudy situation. Now, I will say that if the Rams,
I don't think they will because they have Breece, but
if the Rams get him at 13, there'll be some of that Monty and Gibbs panic. But you don't take Jeremiah Love at 13 and not make him your feature running back. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that if he goes to the Rams, and the Rams are smart enough to do this, there'll be an initial knee-jerk reaction of bad, but it will not be, because the way that they would use him, he would 100% be their starting running back. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Miami could potentially draft Love and trade Etienne and start over and build around. Like, sure, it's possible, but there's a lot of moving parts there. You got to move Etienne real quickly, and that's possible. There's a lot of time. The Bengals are a little bit of a dark horse for Jeremiah Love, just because last year they visited with, I think, the most, or top 5 most top 30 running back visits, which was really weird last year, and they didn't take any of them, but they wasted a lot of their top 30 visits with those RBs, and it was panicking everybody if they remember back when they were doing that. So there's certainly that kind of risk factor here. I don't think the Saints or the Chiefs or the Cardinals do surprise us and still draft Jeremiah Love. The Giants are definitely a disaster zone for Jeremiah Love. We don't want that. All right, let me go back to this real quick. So Etienne, 4-year, $52 million, great landing spot. Mike Evans in San Francisco, very, very intriguing landing spot. Very, very high risk, and being next to the power plant worries the hell out of me. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Freezy says since he drafted Taj Brooks. Oh, well, that settles it. They're not going to go after anybody else. Etienne, top 7 running back, Travis.
Probably. I mean, easy top 10, but.
All right, let me get this caller in 1 second. Let me just. Caller, mute yourself real quickly. I'll be right with you. Sorry, Travis. Go ahead. You're saying like 7 to 10, maybe 7 to 10, Etienne. Travis.
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
7 to 10.
7 to 10. I mean, 7's tough. Still, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
But I think in that system you can do it.
You think about it.
In the chat.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's right. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask something about Love. So if you have something on
Go ahead.
Someone in the chat mentioned the Steelers. Is there any way they would jump up for Love if he fell? Because they have a wide open backfield. Warren is gone in a year.
Sure, I can see it. I definitely could.
Tuton, that would actually not be a bad spot. So
yeah, Tuton's also another quiet winner today. Just anybody,
sure.
He definitely could have his parade rained on, but for right now, he's a big winner. Big, huge winner from today's news. Ibuka and Tuton are real quiet winners today. So everybody give it up for Tuton, who might be the starting running back in a Liam Cohen system that is really, really fantastic. And then Buka, where's my Buka graphic? Let's see if I can grab Buka, put him up. So these are the 2 quiet winners from today. We'll probably do a live stream on that later. Just the fact that these guys hit home runs today and they didn't even do it. They didn't have to lift a finger. they just cleaned up. But Etienne, 4th, 52. Let me go to this caller here. Andrew, you're live.
What's going on? Off-season Smitty, what's going on, man?
What up, bro?
Man, I have a question. I'm a Jets fan. Do you think
Sorry.
the Jets, for franchise tag, Do you think that Jets for franchise tag Brees, pick up Love at 2, and then use Brees for some bait later on down the road?
The problem with that theory, bro, is that the running back spots will be full by then. So you have to trade Brees now on the tag and just hope you get Love. There's no scenario that the Jets can wait to draft Love, then trade Brees. No team will need a running back at that point.
Right. Okay. That was something I was thinking about. Smitty. I was thinking if the Jets wanted to do something like that, start over, because Brees is obviously mad. We just spent all this money on Mika and the defensive tackle from Atlanta.
Well,
I knew he was upset.
Yeah, that's the thing. Brees is going to be, how do you get a trade cooking, bro? You create animosity, right? If there's animosity between the team and player. Now, what creates animosity more than anything in the National Football League? I'll tell you, the franchise tag, because the players call it a prison tag. It's called the prison tag because it puts a player in a box, and they can't move, they can't do anything, and it frustrates them, and it kind of spits on their face. And it was designed for the quarterback. The franchise tag was never, ever intended for a wide receiver, a running back, a tight end. It was always intended for a quarterback. And the way contracts worked back in the day and the way that it all kind of fell into place with the top 5 average and everything, it only made sense to franchise tag a quarterback. Running backs got paid a lot more. Now that running backs are so cheap, you can franchise tag a running back and pay them like nearly the exact same that they'd be making at a top level as on a multi-year deal. Whereas you take a quarterback, for example, and look at that. So running back, the franchise tag was 14 mil, I think. So 14 mil. What is Kenneth Walker making per year? 15 mil. So that's why that tag's so easy to use on a running back. What's the franchise tag on a quarterback? Isn't it 28 million? I think.
I thought it was 30.
Roughly. What is an elite quarterback making for? So like there's a big discrepancy. So if you pigeonhole a quarterback on the tag, you can undercut him like 20 mil a year, whereas a running back you're not. So Brees Hall is very pissed off that he got franchise tagged. Probably he wants a big contract. We don't know if the Jets are just trying to lowball him. They say they want to work out a long-term deal. I do believe they end up getting one done. I assume. Otherwise, why would they have gone in this direction if they weren't really trying? Now, Brees Hall thinks he's worth 15 mil a year and they want to give him 12. We might have a problem. And if Brees Hall is starting to feel like he wants to get out, if he creates enough animosity between now and draft day, the teams that need a running back that haven't fulfilled that need through the draft, that didn't get one of the big name running backs, will probably be interested and they can force a trade. Your phone's cutting. Your phone's got a lot of reverb, bro. I'm going to have to have you jump or ask your last question real quick, and then I got to drop you.
Okay. My fault, Smitty.
That's right.
My last question is, with the Etienne news, what's with the Kamara situation? Like, what
Kamala?
Kamara.
Oh.
He's getting cut.
Yeah. No, he's restructuring. I think he already restructured. So Alvin Kamara.
I think they might still cut him though. I don't know. Maybe they'll keep him. But
restructured his I think he restructured his contract. New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara has restructured his contract in March 2026, creating $8 million in cap space, converting $10 million of base salary into a signing bonus. The move provides the team with significant financial flexibility and potential outs for the 2026 season. So yeah, we'll see. I think for the most part, converting it up front, you keep him. He's your he's a rotational running back at this point.
Yeah,
but
backup in rotation.
Yeah. He doesn't stand a chance to unseat Etienne now, especially with the way he dropped off last year. Like the way I look at him is, remember, a little bit better than this. But remember when who was the running back that landed on roster when Brees Hall was in New York and he's coming off the ACL tear? What was it? James Cook? Dalvin Cook. Remember when Dalvin Cook landed on the Jets?
I remember that. It was terrible.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh, Dalvin Cook," and then Dalvin Cook was trash. Like that's probably the way I would say Kamara is going to play this year. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. All right. Last thing, go Sharps. Drafting him high. Go Sharps.
All right. Later, bro. Appreciate you. Breece Hall, yeah, hard to say, guys. Not a lock to stay on the roster, but also kind of a tall order, and there's a lot of obstacles to get him out because of the landing spots for running backs are dwindling quickly. We have the Saints with Etienne, Walker going to the Chiefs. We've got Hall tagged. Love has limited options now, and so the teams that need a running back are
done.
Yeah, Cardinals are off the board. And you say to yourself, like, the Jets would be on the board if they end up not keeping Hall. So let me get rid of the Jets now, and then we'll reemerge them if that ends up opening up. Algier's now a Cardinal. So let me take him off the board. We'll fix that later. But the teams in need of a running back, those just dwindled. So now those teams, three of which have a Vikings that have to move up a little, have a possibility of landing Jeremiah Love. I think these teams are reassessing their Jeremiah Love, objective, because now it's like you take the Saints, the Chiefs. These teams are going, damn, we can maybe get this kid now. So I don't think Breece Hall is a very attractive trade piece to a team left that can go get potentially Jeremiah Love. So the idea of Breece Hall getting traded on the tag, that's kind of dwindling too. Although anything's possible, and in order to get a trade, it just takes one dancing partner that says, we'll make you an offer that you can't refuse. And then the team's like, hell yeah. Doesn't matter if they like Breece Hall. Doesn't matter if their intention was to sign him long term. We don't know that they haven't been butting heads right now, and they're kind of frustrated with them, and the right offer comes along, they'll take it. The Jets will take it in a heartbeat. So that's all it is. It has to be the right offer.
And Breece Hall now is saying, I want 13, 14, 15 million, because that's what Etienne and Walker just got. And he's going to bet on himself,
Yeah, and you wonder if they're like 13 to 15 mil is what Hall is going to demand. Between 13 and 15. Walker got 15. Etienne got 13. So in between is what he's going to want to get at the very minimum, or at the bottom end. If he gets Etienne's money, that's fine. Now, do the Jets want to pay that? The tag amount for Breece Hall is what, 14? So
I think so, yeah.
So you're talking about $14 million right now, and that's on the books for this year. If they sign him to a even $14 million times 3 deal, they're going to be able to push a lot of the money into a signing bonus, and then they can make it very team friendly. So you got to understand that the Jets might even say 14 million is fine, because we're paying them 14 million anyway. And if we give them, let's call it 20 million guaranteed, we convert a lot of this 14 to a signing bonus. We're only committing a little bit to him next year differently. That I don't think it's going to be a problem. 14 million is what he's getting paid now. 14 million a year is what he easily could get. That's what why the franchise tag for running back isn't as scary to me in terms of making a player play on the tag, is because the tag number and the number annually is about the same. Whereas a quarterback, you're tagging a quarterback at 28 million, and the quarterback might want 40. So it's a lot bigger gap, and the bridge is a lot longer to try and connect it. So I think Breece Hall will get his contract at the end of the day. It's just too similar of a number. But we'll see what happens on that front. Mike Evans, what are your thoughts on Mike Evans in San Francisco? Am I crazy to think that he has a lesser chance staying healthy in San Francisco than in New England or something? Am I just throwing conspiracy theories at the wind, or is there really some concern here? And if anybody says no, it's bad luck, it's this and that, the Niners continuously have injury concerns, and I've screamed from the roof. Yeah, I've screamed from the rooftop for years. For years, I've been screaming that someone needs to investigate why the Niners are getting injured. And everyone's like, it's football. Okay, Steve, it's football. Oh, real good idea and concept of breaking this down. Yeah, that's solved the whole thing. It's football. Everybody's bound to get hurt. If you have eyeballs or any sort of ability for pattern recognition, which your boy comes with a lot of pattern recognition skills that I've acquired over a long time, over the course of my career, skills that make your a nightmare for your league mates. And my pattern recognition says that something's wrong in San Francisco. Is it that they don't stretch? Raj, my boy Raj, RSF 49ers, said that this team does not stretch. I mean, they stretch a little bit, but Raj, my buddy Raj, why would he lie about this? He's the closest thing we have to somebody connected to the Niners, and he says that he's gone to games, he's gone to practices, he's gone to scrimmages, and the team just does not stretch. That's one thing. And so we thought, okay, is that it? Maybe it's it, maybe it's not. Christian McCaffrey keeps getting hurt, and yet he stretches on his own. McCaffrey's got his own plan. He doesn't stretch with the team. He does this whole thing. He's in a chamber. They bring the hyperbolic chamber onto the field on a crane, and they unleash it, and then McCaffrey walks out, all the smoke and ice. So McCaffrey staying healthy, and then last year stretches on his own is kind of wild, but he has been getting hurt too, and so you're like, hey, it can't be all stretching, right? What else is it? Why is somebody not open an investigation? Why do you investigate something? Because you don't have answers and you need them. So if you don't know what the cause is and you don't open an investigation, you can't stumble upon things like the power plant or something else. I've been screaming it for years. So Mike Evans going to this situation does feel like there's a little bit more high risk, especially you sit this man next to a power plant. Now, real quickly, Travis, before I go to the phone line and to Travis for a response and then over to the other caller, Simi Valley with a $5 super chat. Appreciate Simi Valley for dropping a super.
I smell meatloaf.
Let me get through these super chats real quickly. I've got Joe, the realist. Would you trade Etienne for K9? I'd rather have K9 in KC, but it's very, very arguable. But I'd rather have K9. Now the question is, would I want Etienne and something over K9? Maybe, and maybe that can happen, but I think I do want Walker, but very arguable. Keaton Mitchell is a free agent. What are some best case, worst case scenarios for Keaton Mitchell? Is Keaton Mitchell a free agent or is he a restricted free agent? I forget.
They just like minutes ago non-tendered him, so he's a free agent.
Okay.
I like Seattle.
Yeah, I think Keaton Mitchell, thank you, RDM, for the question. I think, look, we've always liked him, and then he tore his ACL. When Keaton Mitchell was a rookie, Etienne and Keaton Mitchell, they almost looked like the same exact player the rookie year. Etienne went crazy, was one of the most exciting running backs in the league. Keaton Mitchell actually averaged more yards per carry and looked more explosive than Etienne, but he had a shorter window of it, and then he tore his ACL. I like him. I don't know if teams view him as a starter by any means on any level, and the team just releasing him proves that. And this is a copycat league. This is a hey, this is Mike from Cleveland in the scouting department. What's wrong with Keaton? Yeah, you got rid of him. We're not on Keaton anymore, guys. They told us he's bad. Like it's ridiculously embarrassing that the NFL is very much like draft day. And how they operate and how they think and how they converse and how they believe each other and ask each other advice. It's weird, but I do like him. If he lands in a great spot, we'll be on the case, but I don't think there's a high likelihood he's walking into a starting situation. But maybe he goes somewhere crafty, he plants his seed, and then he starts to sprout and blossom through injury in a pathway. We'll examine the pathway to the lineup for him wherever he lands, but I don't think it'll be very clear-cut, but we'll see. Thoughts on projections on Etienne and now Tuton? Great question, Death. Appreciate you dropping the super chat. Etienne, we went over those projections. I think Etienne could be in store for, let's say Etienne gets you I think he could get you like something around 1090 or 1100. Let's give him 7 TDs on the ground. Let's give him, I don't know, 400 receiving and maybe 55 receptions. I'm just spitballing this, and 3 TDs. So a good 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, 55 receptions would be kind of like a floor value if he stays healthy, I think. And then for Tuton, very volatile player to discuss and examine now because we don't know what the rookie draft is going to end, or the NFL draft is going to do in terms of landing a rookie running back on the roster. They still could go get Rico Dowdle. As I speak, they might be doing that. I think Tuton, if he's starting, I'll tell you, which I only have about a 50%, 60% confidence level of right now because there's so many variables and obstacles, but let's call it 55%. More likely to be the starter because they drafted him to be that starter, and he's shown signs. Fumble issues, injury history, a lot of things that might make them go get another equivalent to Tuton, and then you're kind of in a risky territory where you don't know which one is going to be the guy. Like Jonah Coleman gets landed on this roster, Emmett Johnson, Mike Washington feels like a Liam Cohen guy. We like Mike Washington. That means Liam Cohen's got a and that would be a player we would love to see in the spot. And then you could just cuff them together. They both kind of neutralize their cost of entry, and so you could get them both pretty cheaply. But Tuton, if he's starting, I think you could get like a 900 and maybe 390 and 9 TDs out of him on a like, I don't want to say like full time. He starts the entire season, but we start getting big chunks of good production, and then like they buy into him later or something. That would be like a floor for me if he's kind of not a lonesome dove, but he's one of the top, most likely options to lead the backfield. If it's clear cut, like if they don't draft anybody, they don't bring anybody in, like, and Allen's an interesting option too. Like you got to keep in mind that you might need to cuff Tuton to Allen, but this is probably going to be like a 1,200 yard, if all is perfect and well, 10 TDs and, 400. And then we're still calling this like 50 and then like 2 touchdowns. I think he could easily do that if he was fully starting, but it's very early to be making that assumption. I just know Tuton's value went up tremendously with today's news of Etienne not going back. Thank you for the super chat. This one from off the highway says 49ers building the most injured team ever. Let's freaking go. This is off the highway. Off the highway. Thank you for that super chat.
I smell meatloaf.
And the other individual, if I didn't give you a standing ovation, appreciate you all standing ovations for super chats right now. This one here from C-Dub. C-Dub, appreciate your super chat, my guy. Traded Loveland and a second rounder and a third rounder and Dynasty rookie picks for Bowers. So Loveland, second and third. I could care less about second and thirds when you're talking about a big name player. I like Loveland. I take Bowers all day. Smitty, approve your trade. I would have done it.
You've just been...
I would have done it without a hesitation, and I do like Loveland. Should I move Hampton for Walker? I would probably not. I still like Hampton more than Walker. But is there a world where Walker outscores Hampton? Sure. There's still a world where Miami Mike drafts Jeremiah Love somehow. Or does some sort of trades for Etienne, which would make sense. But, and there's some like, okay, Hampton has disappointed already. There's a little bit of that. But Walker has too. Walker's had trouble staying healthy, and then KC's disappointed how they use players when you think they're going to do something. So I would keep Hampton. I think Hampton's better. I think if you got the greater question is, can you get a lot more for that trading? You should. Can you get Walker and a wide receiver upgrade that you love? Then I consider the downgrade, but that's what it would require for me. And then let me go to Rumble real quickly to see if we got any Rumble super chats. I got Hag gifting a membership. I've got Hag over on Rumble. I've got, who else do we got over on Rumble? We got Sam over on Rumble. Sam, appreciate you. Hag, thank you for gifting that membership. Appreciate my Rumblers over there. We've been crushing it on Rumble. We're at 6K on Rumble. We hit 10K. The Rumble show begins. Congratulations on the 6K on Rumble. Link in description. Please join the Rumble revolution. We are crushing it over there. And when we get to 10K, we're starting off the Rumble show. Or if somebody on Rumble drops a 500 crypto Rumble wallet tip, and you can use your own crypto wallet, but they have the new thing now where you can do the Rumble. If anybody drops 500, I'll dedicate the entire first month of the show to you, your business, whatever, in the top right corner, assuming it's not a competitive business, and dedicate the show to you. But we start the show immediately, and the Rumble show, I hope to eventually have it be Monday through Friday, but for now it's just gonna be 1 or 2 days a week. But we'll start a Rumble dedicated show over on Rumble when we hit that 500 tip goal by one person in one show through the Rumble wallet, through the Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Tether Gold Rumble wallet tip. This little $sign on the main channel of the Rumble, or we hit 10K. So when we hit 10K, we'll start it. That is all she wrote here. Travis, any final thoughts? Not final thoughts, but any thoughts on Evans real quick before I go to the next caller? And the caller is Bruce, who's waiting in the wings. Go ahead, Travis.
No, I mean, you pretty much covered it. If he's healthy, it'll be a good move for him. You know, they need a receiver like that, but can he stay healthy? I'd be sending him overseas with CMC as fast as possible. Get him the stem cells.
Wow, what a day.
Oh, and the Chargers just signed Charlie Kohler. They gave him $8 million a year, the tight end from Baltimore.
Okay.
I don't know if that's just a blocking tight end. I mean, he can catch a little bit. But
Wow. You know, today's most, I'd say the thing that got knocked off the tracks, you could say, the thing that put the most questionable thing in play with all today's news is Jeremiah Love's landing spot. That is the one thing that I am most perplexed about and most concerned about and most interested. You know, it's intriguing, but it's like a train wreck. You're intrigued, but then when it happens, you're like, maybe I shouldn't have been not wanting the train wreck, but like been interested in the train wreck because I don't like the outcome. You know, train wreck. Wait a minute. It looks pretty bad. Like, that's the way we're thinking about this. Like, oh my God. But when the top team, Arizona, and the bottom two teams of the bookend grouping of teams that are going to draft Jeremiah Love, 3 of those teams are off the board. And you're only left with a mess of a situation in the Giants, who look to maybe want Jeremiah Love. Tennessee's the savior.
Giants just gave pretty big money to linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, 3 years, $36 million. So they won't be drafting a linebacker. So that's one less defensive position they take. So
I think
the love to the Giants could happen.
I think we want Tennessee to save Jeremiah Love.
Yep.
I did not anticipate being in this situation today and saying Jeremiah Love's options have.
And that's a good spot. It's better now that they signed Wandale, and then Tennessee just signed defensive tackle John Franklin Myers, who was on the Broncos, and he's a very good player.
Yeah,
Hag,
thanks for that gifted. Hey, and if anybody drops a 500 Rumble wallet or a 200 won't start the Rumble show early, but a 200 will get you into the league. But anybody drops a 500 or 200 today in the Rumble tip gets into the Wild Wild West draft. And we draft the Wild Wild West draft at the end of March. It's a redraft. It's not Dynasty. It's not Superflex. It is just a regular draft. It'll be 1 QB. It'll be redraft. It'll be live on the show. There's going to be 14 people in it. And if you want to get in on that, prize will be a pair of Gunners on top of other prizes. That's just one of the sponsors of the. So we'll be doing the Wild Wild West draft live, and the thing that makes it wild is we do things like draft early, or last year we drafted, I think, week 5, just to let weeks 1 through 4 play out to see what was what. Everybody coming with different set of knowledge, and we drafted week 5. It was kind of wild. That's why it's called the Wild Wild West draft. But this year it's going to be the wild part of it is we're drafting in March. So we'll draft in March with all the things that we know at that moment, draft before the rookie draft, everything. And it'll be fun. But we're doing that live on the show. And anybody that does a 200 Rumble wallet tip through the Tether Gold or the Bitcoin or Ethereum, Bitcoin, BTC preferable, we'll get into that. And then anybody does the 5, we start the Rumble show dedicated to you. So just let you know. And honestly, anybody does that on YouTube, anybody drops a 200, they're in the league. That's for sure. All right. Husseini, appreciate you, my boy, in the building. Big Profit in the building. Jason in the building. Travis, go ahead.
You got a super chat from Joseph.
I got one here from Alan, too. Alan says, Rice value with K9 doing the wide back role. I mean, I don't think the Niners are necessarily wide backing Walker. Like, I don't know where you're getting that. But no. I think Walker will be very, very efficient between the tackles. They'll throw to him a little bit, but I don't know who told you he's a wide back in KC. He's not.
I think it's good for Rice.
Yeah,
Rice.
Yeah, Rice has got more room to wiggle if he's even on the field. You know, hopefully Kenneth Walker doesn't accept any rides
at the front door
from Rice, though. Let's say that. Ziggy, show me the front door. What the hell's going on? Which organization is the biggest winner today?
It's opening the front door camera.
Hold on a second. Let's see who this is.
Wow.
It might just be Miss Smitty. Oh, yeah, it's just Miss Smitty. Ziggy off.
Titans just signed a cornerback, too.
Ziggy off. Ziggy off. Ziggy off. Miss Smitty's on the phone.
JK.
Miss Smitty's on the phone in her earpiece, and I got her on the camera going, I don't know what the hell's going on. Talking trash. I don't know. Hopefully that wasn't directed at me. But it's like, I've just been sitting here slaving over this. I can smell food right now cooking. I was slaving over this man's meatloaf. Just talking shit. Walking. All right, what, Travis?
Hey, J.K. Dobbins nearing a deal with the Broncos.
Okay. That's pretty good because that gets us back in the Harvey's not getting replaced. So we'll see where that goes. Which organization?
They could draft someone, but
biggest winner today? I mean, I think the biggest winners from today, not teams, would be Igbuka, maybe Tuton. Walker wins a lot. I'd say the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs needed to protect Mahomes, and they needed to do this.
they made a couple moves.
And then Kelsey's on the verge of, coming back and re-signing with the Chiefs. There's some rumors yesterday that he might not return to the Chiefs. That's a big bunch of hogwash. There's zero chance he comes back and plays for another team. I don't know what. Everybody will believe anything. But I would say KC because of the Kelsey and the Kenneth Walker news.
Titans did well today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not amazing, but I think right now, and this can change on a dime if they make a trade and some signings, but I think the Patriots are the biggest losers right now.
Yeah, they just continue. If they get A.J. Brown today, though, like I think they might by tonight, then
turns it all around.
Turn the tide around. Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate you. Realist dropping a super chat here. Realist, appreciate you for dropping the super chat.
I smell meatloaf.
Thank you very much. Joe says rumors where Denver wanted Etienne or K9. Could Peyton trade for Kamara? I don't think so. Kamara's on his. They just restructured his deal. He's on his last leg, bro. He's not even worth going and getting. If they did that, I'd be ecstatic for. If they traded for Kamara, I think the fantasy world could react to it like, oh no. I'd be excited. I'd be more excited. Him and JK are about the same to me. I don't think there's any threat for Harvey. Harvey's such a big PPR monster that JK signing back to Denver is very, very good for Harvey.
2 years. 2-year deal.
2-year deal. It sounds like it's done. Let me put that up on screen. This is the best news. Now, it doesn't close the door on them getting another running back. They still could.
Right.
But I will say that Harvey is the receiving monster, and JK is the most injury-prone running back in the National Football League. So Harvey might be one of the biggest winners today as well. And I don't know if anybody's going to see it that way in the fantasy industry because the other shows will tell you they really like JK. And oh my God, Smitty, what do you think about Denver bringing J.K. Dobbins back? He's such a threat. This is the best news that Harvey could have had. This makes Harvey a huge winner because Harvey's such an, like, even if they brought in another running back like Dowdle or something, it would impact, like, anybody that has Harvey, it sucks because you could have got him cheaper and the value does drop. But Harvey with another running back in town, with the recalculated cost of entry, with the baked-in risk that is now his new ADP, so 2026 redraft owners or 2026 best ball owners or 2026, I'm going to acquire Harvey in a trade now after we know the situation and the lay of the land, that makes Harvey a steal. Like, Harvey with the risk baked in is a steal. He's going to pull in so many footballs. But, I do think that, anybody that already owns Harvey, it's hard to sit through a lot of this. I agree. But this is the best news that Harvey owners could have got. Like, if anybody thinks differently, I laugh in your face. I literally laugh in your face. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you.
the Titans just signed another cornerback. So the Titans signed 2 cornerbacks, a defensive tackle.
They're gearing up for Jeremiah Love, bro. They're gearing up for Jeremiah Love.
Yep.
Jeremiah Love to the Titans. Let's do it. Let's will this to happen.
To Jupiter.
Let's will it to happen.
Saleh just rebuilt his defense. So they can do it.
Save Jeremiah Love. Dable. Saleh and Dable. Save Jeremiah Love, please. Allen, Rice value, K9 doing wide. Oh, I just answered that one. Yeah, Allen, don't worry about that, bro. Allen, if I didn't give you a standing ovation, here's yours.
Let him cook.
Thank you, Allen. Appreciate you. Rumors were Denver wanted. Okay, I think I'm caught up on the super chats right now. Who's on the phone? Bruce. Bruce, you're live, bro.
Bruce.
Hey, Smitty.
What do you hear? What do you
What's
say,
up, Travis?
Brucey?
Do you think, and this is just my opinion, I put it in the chat, do you think Mike Evans can have one healthy season in San Francisco?
Sure, he could.
He could, but did you hear what I said about, like, if Mike Evans were elsewhere, I probably would think he has a better chance of staying healthy, but going to San Francisco is like the worst potential place that he could go. You know, in terms of trying to stay healthy. Like, you just picture it, my boy, and it's like, how can he stay healthy here? This is the worst place to go. And then you mix in the power plant, you mix in everything. I mean, you could say, Smitty, the power plant's been debunked. It has not been debunked. You know, they haven't done enough research on either side to say one way or the other. It's certainly something. And if it's not the power plant, it's something else. So to me, Mike Evans, you know, I like him. His cost of entry is going to matter, Bruce. Like, would I take him? I certainly would take him as a third wide receiver in best ball. I don't know about yearly, but in best ball, I'll clean up on the Mike Evans third round. So let me make it abundantly clear. His ADP will be everything to me. It will determine everything in terms of the actions that I take that are Mike Evans actions. Now, if Mike Evans ends up costing second drafted or second wide receiver, fantasy wide receiver 2 value, I can't invest in that in a player that may or may not even hit 1,000 yards, that plays on the most injury-plagued team in the National Football League. That there's just a lot of questions. But could he have a healthy year? Sure, it's possible, Bruce.
I put my numbers out there. I said he's going to have 85 to 90 catches, 1,000 to 1,050 yards this year, and 8 to 10 touchdowns. That was my thing I think Mike's going to get, because he doesn't really have competition. Wide receiver wise.
It's a good spot. It's a good spot on paper, like I said. You know, I like it. I do think it's decent, but then it's just, again, you think about the injury risk, and I don't know. I think per start.
Sneaky.
Yeah, Pearsall's still in the way. They're not done grabbing receivers. If you think they're done right now, oh, he's the only one there. You think they're not going to bring anybody in, Bruce, or draft anybody? I mean, of course they are. Like, that's the funny thing about people, that when these situations are the way they are right now, when like a running back clears out, they're like, yeah, this is completely empty. Like, they're not, you don't think they're going to go draft a running back? You don't think they're going to go draft a wide receiver? You don't think they're going to potentially still be in the mix for a wide receiver? You know, there's going to be something, bro, that ends up being in the way here. But Pearsall's still there. Kittle will be back, whether he's efficient or not. Tunges, Christian McCaffrey is still going to be catching a lot of footballs for as long as he can stay healthy. Brock Purdy's got to stay healthy. Do they trade Mac Jones and then they have no Brock Purdy? Does the offensive line crumble? You know, what's Trent Williams looking like or doing, or how's that situation? Like, there's so much at play here. We've never seen Brock Purdy play well with Trent Williams or the offensive line down and Kittle at the same time necessarily play very well consistently. And then if Christian McCaffrey goes down, who knows what this looks like. I think Mike Evans on paper, it's a good spot. And I think the type of receiver he is probably the best kind of receiver you could hand to Brock Purdy. But the one question you have is, did he cross that threshold of being good anymore? Because it's definitely on the verge. Amari Cooper going to Buffalo, I still think he had a little more left in the tank. But moving teams is also a struggle, and Josh Allen didn't really gravitate toward him. And so he kind of just fell apart and then never returned to football. But he could have had one more good year. He was having a decent year when he got traded. Could Mike Evans just go to San Francisco at the wrong time? We're not sure it's there anymore. He gets banged up in camp. He was very injury prone last year. He's very fragile. It didn't feel like, oh, Mike Evans is, had a weird injury. He felt fragile, So I don't know. I don't know what's in store for him. Per start should be pretty good. How many starts does he get, Bruce? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
And here's a thing I have for you. If the Titans and all the lines are lining up for them to take Love, what do you think they do with Pollard and Spears? Which one would you ship off?
I don't know. I have to look at the fine details of the contracts, to really make that determination. I think in theory you would want to keep Spears if I could choose. And I don't know the contracts in front of me, but because he's different than Love. I'm not saying Pollard is Love, but I also do believe that you'd want to have a different type of running back, to change of pace type of running back to spell Love. Whereas Pollard, I don't know. But they could just keep both of them, but Love would be the starter. Could they move on from one? Maybe, but how do you trade at that point when all these teams are going to fill their running back holes? You know what I mean? That not only through the NFL draft, unless you draft Love and before day 2 begins, you trade Pollard, and that could happen. But there's not a lot of teams that need running backs, and they're not going to they're not going to spend draft capital on Pollard when they can just draft Jonah Coleman. They're not going to spend draft capital on Pollard when they can just sign Rico Dowdle right now. So I don't think that the Titans will be able to, unless it's like we just want to get rid of the room cleaned out. Let's get rid of them for a future late pick. It's conditional. Then a team's like, sure, I'll take Pollard, but I doubt it, bro.
Spears and Pollard are both signed just through this year too, so it could go either way.
Spears is intriguing. I have people saying Tua. Something happened.
He got cut.
But okay, but I was wondering if anything happened right now.
Oh, I don't know.
Safety. Brian Cook is headed to Cincinnati Bengals for 3 years on a $42.5 million deal. Okay, Bengals
Chiefs lost another guy.
Bengals are trying to say, Joe Burrow, we're trying to make this fun for you again. You want to have some fun, Joey? Joey, they want to keep Joey, go celebrate. Go get yourself a new Ellen DeGeneres haircut, because you just got yourself a safety, Brian Cook.
Chiefs have to rebuild their secondary. I know they're pretty good at rebuilding their defense, but they lost 2 corners and a safety now.
Yeah. What a day, man. What a day. It's just beginning. I got to grab some food.
Crazy.
Bruce, any final thoughts, my boy?
The only final thought is like I said before, and this was weeks ago when I said that Likely was going to follow Harbaugh to the Giants. He did it.
Yeah. Good call, Bruce. What's that mean? I would say... I think that Nagy's a concern, but I think he could be pretty good. I mean, at the end of the day, he's never gotten number 1 targets. I think I'll be pretty solid. I just don't like Nagy. I think Nagy's trash. And that concerns the hell out of me. And if anybody else isn't feeling the vibe that I'm feeling, I question what you're feeling. Does anybody feel like the Giants don't know what they're doing when you're hearing continuous rumors about wanting to bring in an elite running back? Like, I just don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like, you're clearly sending the wrong message to Scatterboo by even exploring this and failing. And I don't know. If the Giants draft Jeremiah Love at number, what is it, 5? Pick is it?
Yeah, 5.
I don't know. I'm going to be beside myself. I'm just going to be irate.
I'd be sick to my stomach.
But that's, and I'm not saying Nagy's in control of this at all. I'm not Nagy's, offensive coordinator. not decision maker in chief. But I wonder if Harbaugh, look, the Ravens dumped Harbaugh, and that Ravens owner had a lot of like negative things to say about him. If you remember back in the press conference, they're like, if they would have won that playoff game, if you would have won the playoff game, would he still be head coach? And they said for one more game. Like they were done with him. And one of his first moves is to hire Matt Nagy as his coordinator. So you do wonder if the game has passed Harbaugh by, you know? And he failed to, in his relationship with Lamar, people can say that it's great. It wasn't great because clearly that's why he's gone. And his inability to want to, evolve. There's a lot of reasons why they said they moved on from Harbaugh, but you just got to wonder, Harbaugh couldn't do it. He kept trying, and you could keep saying, oh, but they win. They had good seasons. But so did Mike Tomlin,
Mike Tom.
Yeah, it's the same. It's kind of the same thing. I just wonder if Harbaugh is not going to be a good coach in New York. And the fact that he hired Matt Nagy makes him look incompetent. It makes me feel like he doesn't know what he's doing. It makes me feel like he doesn't know what in the hell he's doing. And so I am worried about Jackson Dart with Nagy. It could be just 1 year, and then they reset. But look at Trevor Lawrence when you did that. You reset, and then just held Trevor Lawrence back for so long. I think Jackson Dart, there's some concerns. And then you look at, you got Neighbors coming off the injury. You got Scattaboo coming off the injury. You have the team looking to draft a running back, and they clearly don't believe in Scat. I just don't know if this team knows what it's doing. It feels like it already feels a little like Raiders-like from last year, where it's like, this is a mess. It feels like it's going to be a mess. I don't know. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but the fact that they don't want to give Scattaboo the full workload concerns me. Yeah. So, all right, Bruce, appreciate you, bro. Call back later. We'll be live again later. Travis, final thoughts on the Giants situation, and then we're out of here.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants, like, it is just kind of feels like a mess. And, like, I mean, Likely is a great signing, but, they have Theo Johnson, who's pretty good, too. So, in terms of fantasy, I don't know if we get Likely unlocked like we wanted to completely.
Yeah. I mean, Theo is pretty good. Like, that's what I'm saying. Aren't they, like, doubling up at the wrong positions? Like, you wanted to get a running back when you got Scat. And I'm not saying I don't like Likely, but yeah, Theo's pretty good. Now, you don't want Theo. You'd rather just go get Likely. It's like, what are you doing, man? You going to go get a quarterback next? God. Like, what's Harbaugh doing?
Yeah. And
why not like Scat?
Last thing I was just going to ask, I know. And Scat and Tracy, Scat and Tracy are fine together. Like, Tracy's perfectly fine as an RB2 in that offense. So, last thing I was going to ask, and I'll jump, is if Tua goes to the Falcons, how do you feel about that? I don't mind it, because I think for fantasy-wise, him or Penix can support London and Pitts.
Yeah, I mean, Falcons or Vikings need to grab Tua. And Kyler, Vikings, Tua, Falcons makes the most sense.
Right.
I predict that those two happen. Kyler, Vikings.
That's good.
Tua, Falcons. Okay. And then you got Penix and Tua. You got J9 and K9. Or K1. Sorry. K1 and J9. Damn it. Why are we all these nicknames? J9 and K1. That sounds like a disaster. Sounds like a barbecue sauce commercial. Get your K1 and J9 complimentary. These sauces go good together. And then over on Tua and Penix. It sounds like a disease. Tua and Penix, K1 and J9. It just fits because at least you're doubling up where you need to, like the New York Giants don't know how to do. The New York Giants are doubling up where they don't need to double up, just like the Giants talking about taking Carnell Tate when they've got Neighbors. And it's like, I don't mind getting another receiver, but you're taking a one that can't play a one as a one now. It's almost like you're taking a race car that goes 300 miles an hour and you're putting a governor on the gas pedal that allows it to only go 220 when it goes 300. It's not going to develop right. So the Giants just don't know what in the hell they're doing, I think. They better not take Love. They better not take Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson. Take Mekhi Lemon, please. Like, at least, you take him, Neighbors will be fine. Mekhi Lemon's good, but not amazing. So,
Yep.
All right. Last thing
so
I got to...
So, just to close out, the names we're keeping an eye on now are Dobbs, Jennings, Shaheed, Debo, Diggs, Njoku, Dowdle. I think those are the biggest ones on offense left, right? Aside
Dobbs, Jennings, Dowdle,
Shaheed, Debo, Diggs, Njoku, those type of guys. Pacheco, I guess. Okonkwo. A handful of guys.
Who else are we forgetting there? I feel like there's somebody. Wide receivers, we've got, Tyreek Hill, Ayuk.
Ayuk, that's another one, yep.
Yeah, Hill. I'm not saying I love them. They're just players. Running backs. Rashad White, I guess.
Yeah, Rashad White. Keaton Mitchell, I guess,
yeah. So that's and then quarterback and tight end. So likely I'll have to redo some of this board. But we've got Willis, Fields, Mack, Tua, Goddard.
Yes, that's the biggest tight end. Yep, forgot about him.
Yeah.
Goddard and then Njoku, I guess they're the biggest tight ends left.
Goddard, and then just Kelsey news, I guess. So yeah, we're waiting on a lot. There's a lot that could go down. If Kelsey was gonna re-sign, I probably would go live on something that big. I might wait a few minutes to try and get a few things because it's coming in waves. Algier didn't get traded, Mark. All right, I'll see you all at when we go live in just probably a few minutes, I imagine. I'm going to grab some food first. All right, see you all. Appreciate every single one of you. Travis, call back when we're live again. Rumblers, appreciate my Rumblers over there. Where are my Rumblers? I've got Hag gifted a membership earlier. Hag, appreciate you. Hag in the building. Simi Valley over on Rumble. Simi, appreciate you. Samuel, appreciate you. Appreciate my Rumblers. Rumblers to the moon. Guys, subscribe to the Rumble channel. Link in the description if you're on YouTube. If you're on Rumble, link in the description for YouTube on Rumble. I'll be back. You know the deal. You know the guy. You know the thing. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Remember the time zone. Doesn't change the show's 8 p.m. Eastern, but it might change when 8 p.m. Eastern is to you. 8 p.m. Eastern, we're live Monday through Friday. We're live at midnight Eastern, Monday through Friday. We're live on Big News Breaks. That's what all these shows are now. See you all on the next one, which will probably be in a few minutes, I imagine.